Newport Aquarium, and I've been here for a little over 10 years. I'm not originally from the city. I've told a few of you tonight that I planned on being here for a couple of years, and now 11 years later we call this home, and we're very happy to call this home. And the first couple of months that I was here in town, I was asking some associates, like, who do I need to know in this region to be successful? And in addition to the Butlers and Carlisles of the world and so forth and things, Joe's name came up, and I got to meet Joe, and we struck up not only a business relationship but a personal relationship. And you know his background much even better than I do. But one of the things I want to do is thank you to Joe for two reasons, and this is very sincere on a personal level. One is, if it wasn't for Joe in the early days of Newport Aquarium and Newport on the Levee, this property, everything you see here, would not happen if it wasn't for his contribution with the tax increment financing program that was put together to make these projects feasible. Now, you see other things around the nation and the industry, and the program that was developed in Kentucky is actually cited as one of the benchmarks for other states to develop economic development from that. So I would not be standing here today as the executive director of Newport Aquarium, because Newport Aquarium would not exist if it wasn't for the contribution of this guy right here. Thank you very much. And then the other thing I want to bring out, which I guarantee you nobody knows, I asked Joe many years ago to sit on our foundation board. So the aquarium has the Wave Foundation on the side. We're 5 staff strong. It's run by the very capable hands of Scott Wingate, the executive director. We have 500 volunteers in the foundation. They contribute roughly around 30 full-time equivalents in the community and at the aquarium and volunteer hours. We do a massive amount of education outreach and STEM education in the community, as well as international conservation programs. We have programs in South Africa, in Hawaii, and in Asia, dealing with wildlife conservation. And Joe graciously dedicated his time when he was still with the state to sit on the board and give us guidance and governance in the areas of youth education in Kentucky. And some of the programs that were highly successful out now, that we're going to Eastern Kentucky and Western Kentucky and bringing penguins and sharks to the communities, is in part due to Joe's contribution. So that's another thing that I'd like to say thank you for, because that whole program is just absolutely taken off. So on that note, Al, did you want to say something as my co-host? Okay, you have your prepared remarks?
I do.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Eric. Good evening, Alan Bernstein, owner of BB River Boats and a Covington resident down on the waterfront. And my introduction to Joe was many years ago. Now that might make me a very old guy. I don't feel that old. So the days of when Covington was certainly on the upswing, and Joe's a great problem solver. He has proven that over the years, and we'd really like to see some of Joe's problem solving. We have some issues in Covington that certainly need to be addressed. We want to expand the convention center. We want to certainly make some of the things that our conventioneers come to that stay in hotels over by the I-75 bridge and walk 2 blocks to the convention center. That needs some help. Conventioneers are not very enthused about walking down those few blocks. It's not inviting, not well lit, not signed very well. And we have some real issues that need to be addressed. And I think the man behind me is certainly up to the task, and we're very energetic to see what we can do. So I want to thank all of you for coming. It's a great honor to see you. I see some friends from way back when I was much younger, And I'm happy to do this for Joe. Eric called me and I said, absolutely, we'll put this together. So without any further ado, I guess, Joe, it's your turn to talk here. How's that?
How's this for a venue?
Very nice.
Thank Eric and Alan for putting this together. And look, the sharks have disappeared.
You're scared.
Big show.
Look, it's so appropriate that we're having this event here in Newport, because one of the issues that we get to deal with is Covington residents is all of the issues associated with our urban core, the riverfront areas. Covington, Newport, Bellevue, Dayton, Ludlow, we all have a great number of issues in common. We have a great number of concerns that we can work on together. And it's the type of collaboration across our city boundaries and across our county boundaries that can help us be most successful. And let's face it, the fact that this facility here is here in Newport is a tremendous asset to Covington too. You know, it's a kind of cross-community benefit we get when we collaborate. Now, in my early days, all of my political mentors were Campbell Countyans. When I first got elected to the legislature, before many of you were born, Bill Donner from Campbell County, from Bellevue, Terry Mann from here in Newport were the guys who introduced me around to the facts of life in the General Assembly and made sure that I was doing what needed to be done to be successful, to learn the ropes. Later on, Representative Jim Callahan from Wilder and I had just a fantastic working relationship, and now Dennis Keenan and I have an excellent working relationship. And again, these are just examples of cross-jurisdiction collaboration that are based on personal relationships, but also a recognition that we have interests in common. And if I can help Newport be successful, and they can help me make Covington successful, then we are each more successful because of it. There's another thing that it's great to be in Newport for, because Newport's been so successful. We hear that when I'm walking door to door in the various neighborhoods, they're jealous. They say, why can't we be like Newport? We used to be so much better than Newport, and now Newport's kicking our butt. You know, and it's all over in Covington that this is the attitude. And so we've got a lot to learn from what Newport's been doing. And Newport has one thing that's dominant. They have an attitude that says, we can get this done. They're problem solvers. They look for ways to solve problems. When they have opportunities to develop or to grow, they get in the dirt. They move dirt, they solve problems, they clear the pathway so that the investors and the people who are doing making the investment can be successful. And it's that can-do attitude that we need to share and develop in Covington. Now, in Covington, we don't have that. We stand out of the way. We let folks sink or swim, normally sink. Now, an example of that is WKRC, Channel 12 this morning, had an article on Duveneck Point. Duveneck Point's a great little apartment project, 108 units. It's been underway for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 years. And it was supposed to start demolition back in August, and it hasn't started yet. Why hasn't it started? Because one of the agencies there doesn't have a building permit. Well, the city of Covington could have solved that building permit issue. They could have been an advocate. They could have stepped up and cleared the way and helped get that taken care of so that that apartment project could be underway today. And instead, they sit on their hands and they let these problems fester. So great opportunities are taking months and years longer than they should because the city government isn't playing the role that it can, that it must, if we're to be successful. And that's the role of being problem solvers and being advocates. You know, let's face it, Covington is the beneficiary of some huge mega trends. Young people today want to live in the urban core. They like the lifestyle. So we're seeing more interest in Covington today than we've seen in years, and it's helping Covington be quite successful. But not as successful as it could be, because our city government doesn't have the policies, it doesn't have the attitude, it doesn't have the mindset to help take advantage of these policies. We need to get a city government that gets out of the way, that encourages, that helps, that problem solves. And this November, we have a chance to make that change. If you elect a new mayor, and we elect a new majority on the city commission, we have a team that will bring a problem-solving mentality that will help Covington take advantage of the mega trends that are pushing our city forward, and we can become the vibrant, delightful community that at heart we all know we are. Thanks to all of you for being here. Thanks for your support. And I encourage you to spread the word, work hard for the next 49 days, because this isn't over until the votes are counted on November the 8th. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Adam.